Hi, I'm Peter Gleeson. For the last 18 years, I've been running performances called Spontageous Choir. In that time, there have been perhaps 30,000 people involved in perhaps 500 performances. So my speciality is understanding the nature of crowd, what it's able to achieve, what it wants to achieve. How can people walk away from a performance saying, that is the most amazing thing I've done in my entire life? Most people involved in Spontageous Choir can relate to this particular principle of having gained such an enormous amount from the performance. So in some ways what I'm presenting to you now is the health food of entertainment. It's not the junk food of plugging yourself into your iPod or parking yourself in front of your computer or your TV or in front of a cinema or in front of a sporting crowd. This is the real thing. This is something we've come from. It's the essence of what we are as humans, to communicate, not just individually, but to communicate with entire crowds. So the concept I'm introducing to you now, that is now your responsibility to spread, is called Spontageous. That's a combination of spontaneous, outrageous, and contagious. So the person who runs the performance, or wants to run a performance when there's a crowd, it might be a queue of people, it might be a public street, it might be anywhere they like, claps 3 times. That indicates that they are making a request to run a performance. People that want to be involved point at the person who's made the request and go, yeah, 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 yeah. The person then assesses the size of the crowd and decides whether they continue with the performance or not. They may, if they decide to continue with the performance, they might introduce a certain sound, any sound. It might be laughter, it might be a single note sung, it might be some words to say, it might be a song that people know how to sing, it might be movement, it could be clapping your hands, it could be anything. It's a rhythm piece, it's an improvisation, it's anything, any style, anything you want to do can be used in this particular improvisational technique. If the person running the performance holds up one finger, they're referring to the people born in the first 4 months of a year. Second finger, the second 4 months of the year. Third finger, third 4 months of the year. So immediately we can have 3 different component parts. Maybe similar, it might be a chord, it might be 3 parts to an improvisation, it could be a harmony of some sort, it could be just 3 bizarre sounds that end up sort of being created together. The length of the performance is determined by the person who is running the performance. But at a certain time, perhaps after 5 minutes or so, the person who called the performance, it might even be 10 seconds, you might run a performance for 10 seconds, it might be possible. But if it's run for 5 minutes, the person running the performance then calls the crowd to select a new leader, holds up an OK signal, holds it up high, an OK. The person who has been running the performance scans the crowd. If someone else holds up their hand in the OK gesture, the person who has been running the performance points to that person and goes, yeah, 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 which is a signal for everyone else in the performance to point to that person as well, and also say, yeah, 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 yeah. And that person then presents their concept, introduces their sound, and becomes the performer, the leader of the performance. And again, the pattern, the cycle repeats and repeats. This particular technique can be used for 2 people, 10 people, 100 people, 500 people. And the launch day for this particular concept is on Cup Day in Melbourne, which is the 3rd of November in 2009. So on that day I want people to be prepared, people to be ready to actually do these performances wherever they might be that day. But if they are people who are going to the Melbourne Cup, then they are to try to run this particular performance on the trams and on the trains, in the car parks, in the lobbies, in the fields, wherever they are in that day. They are to try and run this particular performance because it's fun. They can do laughing things. Check out the Spontageous Choir YouTubes and find out about how diverse the whole Mexican wave kind of thing can be. Work out how you can set up very simple processions or other kinds of ways where everyone is greeted or has some kind of great thing happen to them. So the whole idea is to create a medium that is in tune with what we are as humans, to do stuff that has always been done by humans. And the kind of performances that I run, Spontageous Choir, are based on that. It's derived from something that we really have come from. So this is the health food of entertainment. It's not sitting on your backside and watching TV or a movie or a computer, or it's not plugging yourself into your iPod. It's not sitting at a sporting match and watching other people. This is when you're really having fun yourself, but within a crowd of people. I know it sounds strange because we've drifted away from that in the last century or two, but this is a chance. We come back into this thing and we find out how to create some sense of enormous well-being, to untap the creativity that we have as individuals and as a society. And through that creativity and that excitement that comes from that, we will be able to tackle our social problems. We may be able to remove the crime from our streets. We may be able to foster an entire revolution of performance art. So it's your job, your responsibility now to take this idea and to promote it as much as you possibly can. Post it around, say that this is an amazing idea. This is more important than another series of Xbox coming out or a brand new movie coming out or some amazing concert that's going to happen. This is real. This is something that has the potential to change the entire course of human history. And you are a part of it now. Consider this kind of work as a kind of superannuation. You are now putting into a cultural aspect of superannuation. You are accumulating cultural wealth. You are adding to the vast pool of cultural wealth that is out there. Everyone adds their own part. And everyone then has an amazing story to tell that is real about the things they've experienced in crowds, the things that they have heard and seen, and the times when they have decided that it was their time to clap 3 times and to call the performance, or was their time when requested to hold up their fingers and make the OK signal and say, yes, I will do this crowd. It may take 10 seconds and it's all over, or it may take 5 minutes and it's all over, but people will do it. People can do it. It's that liberation. It's the democracy of performance. So become part of it. Spread the word. It's the most exciting thing that's going to happen for a long, long time. You can start Spontageous whenever you like. You can be practicing, rehearsing, preparing things, wondering about different ideas and possibilities you might try out the next time you have an opportunity, next time a crowd appears. It doesn't matter what part of the world you're in. It doesn't matter what language to do this in. The symbols are pretty much universal, easy to learn, easy to recognize. Practice and make the 3rd of November the time when it all starts coming true.